This conference will now be recorded.
So once again, good morning, everyone. Last class we discussed Python, list data type, tuple, and range. Okay. So today we are going to continue with that one. In the sequence, so sequence means a collection. Here we have string data type, a list, tuple, range, byte, and byte array. Okay. So now come to byte. What is this bytes data type? So here, first observe. Let's come to here. For suppose I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now b equal to bytes of list. B equal to bytes of list. Now type of b, this one. Okay. So here now observe b of 0. Okay. 1. B of 1. Okay. And b of 0 equal to 10. Okay. Does not support isometric. So just we can declare any list or any sequence, we can convert this one into bytes, and here we can access. Now the advantage of here is, for suppose consider list 2 equal to, so here I have taken 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here I am going to take, okay, 100, 200, okay, 300. Now b1 equal to bytes of list 2, bytes of list 2. Now bytes must be range between 0 to 256. So here if you have the numerical values and the range is between 0 to 256, then you can go for bytes. Otherwise bytes will not helpful to you. Okay, so bytes is one data type where the range of the elements is between the 0 to 256, then you can go for this one. So generally in our scripting and programming, we are not using this one. So when you go for any Raspberry Pi, any IoT related, their register related operations are doing, there we have to consider the 8-bit register or 16-bit register. So if you have the values up to 0 to 256, then you can go for bytes. Okay, otherwise bytes we are not using much. And also when you are doing encryption and decryption, okay, encryption and decryption, there we can use this bytes data type. But generally there is a initialization vectors and what we call it as a 16 bit key, 8-bit key. So there we are using the bytes data type. Generally in our scripting, programming, any machine learning, data science, Django, there we are not using this data type. So for the time being, just understand there is a data type in Python which is a bytes and the range of elements between 0 to 256. Then you can go for this one. And also bytes data type, we cannot change the values. Okay, now here if you try to change the values, which you cannot change. Now the same thing, byte array. List equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. BA equal to byte array of list. Now, type of BA, byte array. BA of 0. So BA of 1. BA of 0 equal to 100. Now BA. So here it is in the bytes data type internally. So now you can see this one for I in BA, print I. Okay, 100, 2, 3, 4. Now the same thing if you consider list 2 equal to 100, 200, 300, and 400. Now BA2 equal to byte array of list 2. Okay, now it is going to show error. It cannot be changed. Okay, so here what you have to observe is in Python we have a byte and byte array. Okay, so here byte elements or byte array elements both should be range should be 0 to 256. If you have the numbers between 0 to 256, then you can go for bytes data type. And here byte values we cannot change. Byte array value we can change. Okay, so that is this one. Next, sets data type. In set data type we have set comma frozen set. Set comma frozen set. Now, okay, set and frozen set. So what is set and what is frozen set? How to declare, how to access. Now observe, set elements we have to declare with the curly braces. Set elements we have to declare with the curly braces. A equal to set of 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 comma 50. Okay, now observe. Now type of A. Okay, now observe, just I am printing a value. So here the order is become changed. Okay, it takes a random order. List, I mean set of elements will be the same, but the order will going to change. Okay, order will going to change. So that's why set elements we cannot access using position numbers. We cannot access using position numbers. So here observe A of 0. It is going to throw it. Set object does not subscriptable. We cannot access a set elements. Okay, then what is the advantage of this one? The main advantage is, observe here, s equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 comma 10 comma 20 comma. Type of the variable set. Now if I'm trying to print the values of set, if I'm trying to print the values of the set, observe this one, it is going to remove the duplicates. Okay, it is going to remove the duplicates. And also the order will be random order. Order will be a random order. Here, set is going to remove the duplicates. Okay, it will take the elements in a random order. Okay, it will take the elements in random order. So generally, if you want to make a unique elements, if you want to get a unique elements, there we can use this set operation. Okay, there we can use in set operation. For suppose I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in this list, I want to remove the duplicates. So this is interview question. Okay, so many interviews they will ask this question. So first is they provide, they said they have a list of elements, they want to remove the duplicates. Okay, they want to remove the duplicates. Now, so here I have a list. Now what I can do is I'm going to convert this one to set. Okay, when you converting set, so whatever the duplicate elements are there, it is going to remove, and the result equal to a list of yes. Now, then print the result. Okay, so here, So as I said, we have a typecasting, right? So I am converting list to set. Now observe here. List. Now S equal to set of list. Now yes value. So it is removed all the duplicates of yes list. But I want a result into a list. So that result equal to list of, I'm converting set to list now result, so that I can access elements here individually. Okay, so this is very useful set operation. So for suppose if you have a multiple elements, okay, so if you want to remove the duplicates, we can convert that one into set. Okay, that is one thing. Next here, so now S is having like this, S dot update of, okay, here we can try to add elements now. Yes, so using update method we can add elements to the set. Using update method we can add elements to the set. Add elements to the set now. So this is about set operation. Now similarly there is one more data type called frozen set. So there is one more data type called frozen set. What is this? So this is also similar to set. Okay. But here the difference is we cannot add. Can't add elements to the set. Okay. Now observe here. S equal to now frozen set equal to frozen set of yes type of variable frozen set. What fs contains? Now fs dot update of 6 comes. So frozen set object has no attribute update. So here we cannot update. Okay. So generally frequently you are using this one set only. So even that set, if you don't want to make a change, even that set values, if you don't want to make a change, then you can convert that one into frozen set. Okay, you can convert that one into frozen set. And here, as I said, the order will be random order. Okay, so here there are like this, but here it is going to consider random order here. So that is all about frozen set. So frozen set related, what you have to observe is, so set elements we have to declare with the curly braces. Set elements we have to declare with the curly braces. And here when you try to, after converting into set, so duplicates elements will be removed. So we cannot access a set elements a particular position because it is going to take a random order, and we can add elements to the set. So the same thing frozen set, we cannot add elements. Okay. So this byte thing, this set and frozen set, we are not much using, but we are using set operations. We are not using frozen set much. But the next thing is maps category. In the map, we are having a dictionary. This is similar to hash map in Java. Guys, this is very important. All of you please concentrate this one. Okay, if you know for loop, list, a dictionary, if you know these three things properly, you can play like anything in automation scripts. Okay, So all of you please concentrate this one, dictionary related. So here dictionary we have to define with a curly brace inside key comma value pair. Okay, key 3 value 3. Observe here details equal to, so here you have to put a curly brace and key comma value. Key is id, value is this one, name. Okay, value. Then okay, for suppose, so you can write so anything here, for suppose id, name. Now observe in this example, okay, this is one key comma value pair. So this key value pair is separated with colon. This key comma value pair is separated with colon. This is one more key comma value pair. This is one more key comma value pair. So this pair is separated with colon. Okay, and entire this one and entire this one is separated with comma. Okay, now it means in this dictionary I have two elements. Okay, so this is one thing and here this is one thing. Now here id comma name are keys, 101 comma Srinivas are values. So here what you have to observe is in the, so here the dictionary we have to specify with the curly brace. Make sure here everything is in terms of key comma value pair. So here id name is a keys, 101 Srinivas is a values. Okay, now observe here, for suppose I have a list like this, 101 Srinivas. Now I want this value. How can I get? Using index positions. List of 1 Srinivas. Now the same thing here. Now the same thing here in the dictionary. The index is nothing but a key. The index is key. So if you want to access a value, you have to use key. Using key, you can get a value. Details, dictionary, details of name, Srinivas. Details of ID, okay, 101. So in the list we are using index based, okay, but the same thing here key based, okay, key based. Now, so we'll see few more things about this one. How to add element. So for suppose details is this one. In the details of key, for this particular key, add a value, this one. Okay, this is the key and now it is a value. Now details of key value. Okay, I'm adding one more thing. Details of location. Okay, add a value. Now our details. So like this we can add element to the dictionary. Okay, using this we can add elements to the dictionary. As this is very important, all of you please practice after the session. Okay. Okay. Now details dot keys is going to give you a list of keys. Okay, now details dot values is going to give you a list of values. Okay, details dot items is going to give you a pair, key comma value pair. So here it is going to give you a pair of values. So complete key comma value pairs it is going to give in the form of list. Okay, so this is dictionary related. How to create, how to access elements. Where we can use, what are the use cases of dictionaries? Okay, later I will tell you that one. Okay, so dictionaries are very powerful. Okay, now, so I want to program like this. Enter. Okay, employee ID EMP001. Okay, enter employee name, enter employee department number. Okay, so just these things. Now I want output like this. Okay, guys, here the value may be any data type. So in the dictionary, okay, I forgot to say the value may be any data type. So the value may be again a dictionary, but here few things. Okay, so which are not mutable. I will discuss that one. So remember, values can be any data type. Okay, now here I want output like this. So just enter employee ID. Okay, EMP01, employee name, employee department. Now I want details. So this is a key and a list is a values. Okay, I will write a program for this. Okay, so what do you want? So here employee ID, employee name, department number, right? So my requirement is I want to prepare a dictionary. Now, so here, as per my observation, these two are in the list, right? These two are in the list, right? So I am taking one empty list. Okay, so this is one list, fine. Now in the dictionary, key is employee ID. So a result of, so here you have to specify the key and here you have to specify the value. Now in this example, if you observe, here actually details is here. Now I want a key is this one and value is this one. So that here is the one. Now here what I want, whatever the value you entered, okay, as per my output. So whatever the value you entered, that value I want to make it a key. So here, whatever the value you entered, the value is assigned to this variable. I am using this value as a key, and the result here and the so as a key. And here a list is a value, and here this is the list. Now add it to here. Okay. Now execute this program. EMP001. Okay. Department 001. So this is what you are expecting, right? Okay. So whatever the values you entered, okay. So those things. So whatever the values you entered, okay, those things we can append to a list. Okay, sorry. So here key is what is your requirement? Key value. Now take it one assignment. Enter number of, okay, enter number of, enter number of, enter person name, okay, enter gender, enter location, enter number of languages known. Now enter language, enter language. Okay. Now I want output. Okay, so this is first person details. So here what you have to observe is, so this is outer for, okay, for I in range of n. So you are going to enter these details. Now enter languages. So whatever the language you entered, those many times it has to do loop. Okay, those many times it has to do loop this one again. Now the same thing here also. So one more person details. Mail Hyderabad. Okay. Now I want output like this. So I want output like this. So here a dictionary which is having elements. Okay, do one thing. So you will get confused if I do all those things. You will get confused. Okay, next loops, leave it. Okay, first assignment take like this. Okay. So next to dictionaries I will discuss later. So just so enter name, enter gender, enter location, number of languages too. Now I want output. Okay, person details. Okay, name colon Ravi. Gender colon whatever you enter this one. Next languages. Telugu and English. So I will write a program. Observe here. So whatever the details you entered, those details I want it to a file. Sorry, I want it to a dictionary. Now I will write this program because many are new freshers. Okay. So first, person name, gender, location, all those things, right? Next. Okay. Then, so here I said enter number of languages. Okay, enter language, enter language. So as per my requirement, I am going to use this one into a list. So, so as we are using integer data type, we have to use this. So for I in a range of n. Okay. So here, whatever the number you entered, those many times loop is repeated. So here I am taking one list regarding languages related. So every time here you have to enter. So so if you entered two times, it should ask the details enter language. So whatever the language you entered, all those things I want into a. I want to capture both. So dot append of language. So every time whatever the value you entered, those value is appended to a list. As we are writing a list outside. So after completion of loop, I mean in iterating each and every iteration, the element is added to a list. Now, okay. So here, what is your requirement? Your requirement is you want to output a dictionary. So take one empty dictionary. Now, so here in the dictionary, so this is the key. So here name. So they mentioned as a standard, like I mean to say. So there is nothing. So whatever the value you entered, that is not a key. So they are given key is a name. Now here res of name equal to now Ravi is the value which you entered. The value is assigned to this variable. Now this is the now similar. So here gender. So for this gender, whatever the value you entered, now languages. Okay. So here what you have to observe is as per the requirement what you have to do. Okay. Now observe this one. Enter person name, enter gender, enter location, enter number of languages known, enter language, enter language. Now this is the dictionary, right? So this is what you are expecting, right? Okay. Guys, so far clear or not?
Sir,
Thank you. Now, so this is about dictionaries related. Okay, so I have a few assignments. So do this one. Here next thing is enter number of students. Okay, to student. Enter student ID. Enter student name. Okay. Enter subject one box. Now, so this is one person details. Similar way, I have another person. Okay. Now similar way like this. Now my requirement is I want output in the list. Output is in a list. List contains two dictionaries. Okay. List contains two dictionaries. Here dictionary is like this. So these are all students details. Okay. Guys, for you the output will be displayed in a single line. Okay, but for your understanding purpose I have written like this. So here what you have to do is now in the for loop. Okay, so first for I in range of n, print these, enter these details, append to a dictionary, sorry, in the dictionary these details. Okay, dictionary, those two added to a list, append to a list. Okay, try this one. If you are not able to, tomorrow I will explain. Okay, so here what you have to do is for I in range of n. Okay, so first here you have to enter the details, all those details into a dictionary. So take one empty here, one empty dictionary here. Okay, enter id, name. Okay, subject one, subject two, and prepare a total, and then add. Okay, add elements to dictionary. Add whatever the values we entered, all elements added to a dictionary as a key comma value pair like this. Okay, now this is your first iteration. Now the second iteration, the dictionary become empty, means a new dictionary. So here second iteration you are going to enter, but as per my requirement I want previous and here. So here outside create one empty list and append dictionary to that list. Okay, so here you are prepare a dictionary, append that dictionary to a list. Second iteration, again create a dictionary, append it to the dictionary. Okay, so just using this one, okay, you can try to implement this code. Third assignment. Okay. Third one is, so last class I discussed this one vegetables related, right? Okay. In your code, take one dictionary. Okay, take one dictionary. Now here what I want is, so in your program, take one empty dictionary. Okay, now here, enter number of items. Don't get confused. So enter number of items. I entered 2. Okay, now enter item name. Okay, okay. Enter quantity. Enter quantity. Enter item name. Okay, enter item name. Enter quantity. Okay, 2 kgs. Now I want output a single statement. Total bill is. Okay, so 5 into 200 plus 300. 300. That's it. Now this is one thing. So here, enter item name, enter quantity. You want price, right? That price you have to taken from this one. Okay, here you have to taken from here. Okay, so what you have to understand is, so here item quantity. So here I don't have a price. Price I have to take in from here. Okay. So how to get it here? How to get a value using key? What is this key? This is nothing but the value which you entered. Okay. So just I'm explaining this one. Okay. So for suppose I have a consider I have a dictionary like this. Okay. Dictionary like this. Now here what I want. So for suppose I want only I have one item. Item input of enter item name. Okay. Quantity equal to input of enter quantity. Okay. Now, so I want output printer. Okay. Now here I have to write a total. So for this, how to calculate a total? So total means equal to quantity into price. We don't know the price. Price, how to we have to declare? Okay. So consider this one as a item price. So here item price equal to, now whatever the item you entered, that item price. So here for suppose you entered potato, I want this value. How can I get? Last class I mean here earlier I told you. So if you want to get a value, you have to use a key. Now the key is nothing but the value you entered. So here wedge underscore prices of key. Okay. Now if you entered tomato, now wedge prices of tomato 40. Okay. So the 40 is assigned to this one. So here the quantity into 40. Now here, so you have to enter it as a integer. Enter item name. Okay. Enter quantity 3 kgs 120. Okay, 3 kgs 120. Now, so similar one more just example. So So here this is taken a value from the dictionary. Okay. Now as per, so this only one single item. Now in the assignment I have given, number of items. So 2 items. Okay. And here whatever the total bill I want, how to do this one. Okay. Just wild guess. I mean practicing. Just try it from your end. Okay. This is one thing. And I have, so each and every topic related, I already prepared some assignments. Okay, leave it. Fine. Take these things. Okay, so this is what you have to do. So here what you have to do is, so calculate the total. Okay. Outside for create one variable and here adding to that one. Okay, try. We'll see tomorrow. So any doubts, guys? So tomorrow I'm going to discuss about operators. Okay, so here this one in data types related also few more functions has to be explained. Okay, then that I will take into the next classes. Okay, so here what you have to understand is in Python what are the data types. Okay, so in Python what are the data types? First one is none type. So this is similar to null values in others. So here it is a none value. Now in the sequence, sorry, numbers. In numbers we have int, float, complex. Any numerical number comes under integer. Float, decimals. Complex, real part and imaginary part. We have a sequence. In the sequence we have string, a list, tuple, a range, byte. So string is a collection of character, whether it is a single character or double, single character or multi characters, which Python is going to consider as a string. So there he can define in single quotes, double quotes, triple single quotes, and triple double quotes. So here we can do slicing operations on string. List. List is a collection of similar or different data type elements. We can access list elements using positions, and so we can use an append method. We can add tuple. So tuple we cannot change. So this is also similar to list, but the difference is the tuple elements we cannot change. Next range. So generally looping related we can use this one. So byte and byte. If you have the range between 0 to 256, then you can go for byte or byte array. Sets. The set we have a set and frozen set. So set related. So if you want to remove any duplicate, you can use a set and frozen set. Set elements we can add, frozen set we cannot add. And in the maps category. Okay, in this dictionary data type, everything is a key comma value pair. Okay, so here frequently we are using dictionary, list, string, integer, range. Okay, so please go through this one, guys. And that is one thing, data types related. So now I'm going to show you how to install Jupyter Notebook. So far we practiced in IDLE and we practiced in our Notepad. Okay, now I am going to explain in Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so in the real time frequently people are using Jupyter Notebook. So what it could be? First, so go to your command prompt. Go to search, type CMD. It will go to your command prompt. Here, first, pip install Jupyter. Pip install Jupyter. Pip is a predefined package, Python index package. So install Jupyter. So it will download the required package and it will install automatically. So this is similar to in Unix sudo apt-get install. Okay, so Windows also we have some commands. I don't know exactly. So in Python, pip install Jupyter. Pip install Jupyter. Now, so in my system, it is already there. So that's why it is showing a message requirement already satisfied. But it will be downloaded and it will be installed in your system. So first time it is going to take 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. So this is a one-time activity. Guys, if possible, do parallelly. Next, here, how to open this one? Go to your command prompt. Okay. So this is one time you have to install. Okay. So go to command prompt. Here, Jupyter space notebook. Jupyter space notebook. Just press enter. You don't need to do anything. Jupyter space notebook. If you observe, internally server will be started, automatically redirected to your default browser. Okay, so Jupyter space notebook, press enter. Internally server is going to start and automatically redirected to your this one default browser. Here you can see some folder. These folders are similar to your this folder structure. Now I have a desktop. In the desktop, I have multiple folders. Now the same thing here also you can see. In the desktop, whatever the folders are there, those folders, files, everything you can see here. Okay. Now for suppose in the pictures, I am maintaining a folder called Python 7am. 7am. So here these are all the files. Now the same thing you can see here also. Pictures Python 7am. So these are all the list. Okay. Now here go to new Python 3. Go to new Python 3. A empty notebook will be opened like this. Okay. Now first change this one. Okay. Sample. Now here you can do practice. Print. Welcome to Python. Now if you want to execute this one, so just run this one. Okay. So here, if you have a multi-line program also, line 1, print line 2, print line 3. So multi-line program also you can execute. So make sure which cell you want. This one we can call it as a cell. Run. Okay. Now here in your program, you have created each and everything related multiple files, right? Okay, each and everything related, you created one file. Now instead of that one, I can use one cell. Now this cell is one program. Okay, so another cell is another program. So like that, it can consolidate. We can multiple programs we can implement here. Okay. So complete. I'm going to explain one more time. All of you, please go through once again. That's why I'm repeating like this is few people can understand first time, few people can understand second time. Okay, so because going forward I'm using the Jupyter notebook only, so that's why I'm repeating once again. So how to go to Jupyter notebook? So first go to your command prompt, pip install Jupyter. So press enter. So this is one-time activity, So it will be downloaded and installed in your system. Then how to go to Jupyter notebook? Jupyter space notebook. Jupyter space notebook. So press enter. It will automatically redirected to your browser. Okay. Now guys, whatever the folder you are going to see here, okay, so I think a C drive, D drive we cannot see here. So keep your Python folder in this one. For suppose desktop, keep your Python folder in your desktop and do practice. Now, for suppose I am using pictures. In the pictures, I can say Python 7am. In this 7am, so earlier I created a notebook sample.ipynb. So if you just click this one, it will open. Now, if you want, it is running parallel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't get confused. Jupyter Space Notebook. Pictures. Python 7am. So here it is not properly closed, so that's why we did not get it here. Okay. So Python new Python now. So here for suppose 18 underscore 06 underscore 2020. Now here you can write. So to execute this one, just run it. Okay. Now here some people are getting issues like okay. So here they will not go to some their this one. So you will see like this. So whatever the folder you are going to see here, you can put the your Python folder here at the desktop, documents, downloads. Okay, do that. Is anyone facing any issues? Because going forward, I am going to explain everything in Jupyter Notebook. I am going to give the Jupyter Notebook files. Okay, that's why I'm asking you. So I will share the recording, guys. Just go through the recording. Okay, if you are not able to, if you are facing any issues, let me know. Okay, someone. Sir, after completion of core and advanced Python, will you help for project also? Okay, I will take you that. So in core and advanced Python, I'm going to explain one project. Okay, I will take one scenario. Okay, complete code. I am going to implement each and every topic like exception handling, like to database connectivity. So each and every concept I'm going to explain, including in that project code. Okay, that project is not. I mean, you can put as your experience 1 year or 2 year experience in the software industry, but you cannot keep it that one as your college project. In our BTech, you are having IEEE projects, right? You cannot keep that one as your project, but here you can put 1 year, 2 years experience as that one. So both core and advanced Python. So after completion of my advanced Python course, you will be as a Python automation scripts developer. But if you want to go for any Django related, you have to take a separate training for that one. If you want to go for machine learning and data science, you have to go to separate training for this one. So whatever the prerequisite to go any area, I am going to cover all those things in my Python. Okay, so after completion of this advanced Python course also, I'm going to start Django also. So Django, I'm going to start only weekends. Django or machine learning data science, anything I'm going to start. So I'm getting a pip not recognized as an internal external commands. Okay, so how to change path default in Jupyter? That I have to check. CM, I have to check that one. Okay, so actually, I'm not sure. Let me double check and will confirm you. Next, pip not recognized. So one thing is dear IdeaPad. Okay, so I'm getting pip not recognized as internal external commands. One thing is you did not install Python properly. Okay, so if you not install Python properly, so if anyone getting error like pip is not recognized, then go to your Python downloaded one. So you downloaded Python, right? For suppose, so consider this is my Python. Okay, so here if you double click this one, okay, upgrade now or custom installation, upgrade now. Okay, sorry, okay, mine is 3.8. Type, you can see So I'm sorry. Okay, the one Python 3.8, just double click this one, it will ask repair. Okay, it will ask repair. There you can select the path. Okay, so if possible you can share your screen. And can
This
you share?
conference will now be recorded.
I'm going to make you presenter. Is it possible to share your screen so that I will show you to remaining people also? Is it possible? Can I? Can it should be installed first, sir? Idea pad, guys. Can you share your screen? I have reinstalled Python. Okay, then. So when you do reinstallation, okay, it is asking a checkbox called pip. Just select this one. Okay. So just to do reinstall, okay, it will be clear. So if you face any issues, let me know, guys. I will available in WhatsApp also. If you have any issues, you can let me know. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Srinivas, I have a question.
Yes, yes.
Srinivas, whatever you are covering in this course, like core Python and advanced Python, that is helpful for the PySpark training.
Yeah, PySpark training. Okay. PySpark related, we are having a separate this one, but to go into that area also, we have to start with the scripts. Okay, range function. So I am doing a PySpark developer only, Hadoop and PySpark. Okay, so that will be helpful to you. That training.
Okay, okay.
So
Okay, thanks.
if you have any few set of students, let me know. I can give that one, Hadoop and PySpark. So I have been working as a Hadoop and PySpark developer. Okay, few members, so few people, so I can start a weekend also.
Okay, Srinivas, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Okay, but this course will be helpful to you guys.
Okay, okay. Thanks, Srinivas.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you.